Welcome back to Camp Dolphins All Access. Mike Cunha alongside Steve Goldstein. Goldie, another joint practice against the Falcons and another fight. Actually, maybe another couple of fights. These got heated today. How'd you like the way the Dolphins and the Falcons really got into it before they actually get into it on Friday?
Well, what I really thought was this Dolphins defense is trying to recreate itself.
Yeah.
You never want to hear the word soft in football, but what Jordan Poyer said, hey, we knew that the Dolphins would fold if we got on top of them. Jalen Ramsey has brought up, we need to be bullies. They're trying to change their image. I'm not so sure, Mike, to the outside, but to themselves.
Yeah.
So I think finally, after a couple of weeks of training camp, first opportunity to get into it with somebody else, any small thing that occurs, it was going to be go time.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the fights, maybe one little skirmish, was Dolphins offense against the Falcons defense.
Yeah.
It was all Miami's defense. So I think it's a concerted effort for them to be a little bit tougher, a little bit more, have that bully attitude. And Jalen Ramsey has been a real leader and talked about it. So it really doesn't surprise me very much. And actually, as long as no one got hurt in those fights,
right,
it's a welcome sight, I think, for Dolphin fans.
Yeah, because it's not just talk. It's not just them, getting loud about it. You're actually seeing them put it to practice. Today out here, in terms of the offense, wasn't the greatest day offensively for the Dolphins, I thought. We did see River Craycraft. He had the orange jersey. I think he's the first wide receiver to have it all camp. But another wide receiver popped, and that's the rookie Malik Washington. He had a really good day today.
It was interesting, because last week I talked to him a little bit, and he said, I'm really disappointed in myself. I'm not.
Really?
I'm not doing what I need to do. I'm not picking this stuff up fast enough. I always like to visualize things. Like the night before a game, he'll actually visualize himself scoring touchdowns. But all of a sudden now, another team comes in, and Malik Washington is showing up big time. He made a couple of deep catches. He was a great wide receiver. The University of Virginia had a phenomenal season last year. Great yards after the catch guy. So that's pretty encouraging. There's opportunity at that wide receiver spot, depth-wise, even if Odell Beckham is ready for the season, and Braxton Berrios, who's been on the side here, even if they're okay and they're ready, and I guess you count River Craycraft probably in there.
Yeah.
So that would be 5. There's still room for somebody else, and that's assuming everybody, all those guys, are healthy. So it was fun to see. I'm looking forward to Friday night, seeing Malik Washington in the game.
I just go back to the draft, and when he was picked, it seemed like every draft analyst out there said, oh man, the Dolphins may have actually gotten the steal of the draft. How did the rest of the NFL let Malik Washington end up with that team and with that offense? And he's certainly showing that his hard work is paying off out there. Now, we do have to get to the injury front today. Unfortunately, for the Falcons, they suffered a tough injury at the end of practice, one of their wide receivers. But on the Dolphins side, we'll keep it with the Fins. We see Aaron Brewer walk off today. That's got to be concerning when your projected starting center all of a sudden is out with an injury.
Well, not great. We'll see if it's bad. They were looking at his hand, so that's kind of probably better news than if they were looking at a knee or something that, could really be
problem.
a big long-term problem. Not that a hand can't be, depending on what's wrong with it. But, look, they didn't go out and get an actual backup center. Liam Eichberg slid over last year. They've used free agent they picked up from Philly. Jack Driscoll, a little at center. They got an undrafted free agent that played center in college. So we'll see what happens. I'm just glad it's August 7th.
Yeah.
And not September 7th. It's,
right.
Big difference.
But, of course, it happens a day after Connor Williams signs somewhere else. Okay. So, anyway, we're done here with training camp practices, at least for this
week.
Play
the game.
Right. We get a day off, and then you're going to hear this guy, Steve Goldstein, and Kim Camper up in the booth on CBS Miami. I'll be down in the field chiming in every once in a while when I get tired listening to you two in my ear.
Well, that's going to be like in the first quarter.
That'll be very early on. But, yes, you'll get plenty more of us on the call when the Dolphins take on the Falcons on CBS Miami Friday night, 7 p.m. We'll see you there. Thanks for joining us.